And what did they then do?
They put it on the shelf and said, we're going to maybe release this on television, but we're not going to put it in the theaters.
And didn't they cut 4 scenes, including
They cut 5 minutes
great,
out.
that great scene with the
first film, they cut 5 minutes
salesman?
out. The second one, they cut 5 minutes out, like it makes any difference, but
But the salesman scene, where he's trying to sell him the car?
no. Well, yeah, that one and one where he tells off his math
Okay.
teacher. But
And
anyway.
then Star Wars wasn't so easy either. Some of those executives were impossible.
No, it wasn't the executives, because in those days, you know, there was only one executive at the studio. They didn't have a whole bunch of people there. He had an assistant, and then you had the president, and then you had the board. And in that particular time, Fox was not doing well. They were on the edge of bankruptcy, so the board actually ran the studio. And so Disney changed hands, was bought by the Bass Brothers. The Bass Brothers came, Richard Rainwater came to me and said, look, we want you to be the new CEO of Disney. And I said, we'll buy your company. We'll buy it for, you know, I think they were offering me $200 million, which at the time was a lot of money. And they said, look, we'll guarantee that in 5 years, that $200 million will be worth $1 billion.
The thing they would say.
Well,
sure.
It was not an easy road. Nobody wanted those movies. Everybody wanted Indiana Jones, but nobody was willing to pay for it, except you. And, you know, it's hard to convince people in the end that, you know, 90 is, because of my stubbornness and my wanting to be free to do whatever I wanted to do and be creative and do what I wanted to do without anybody telling me what to do, I then did which I just told you, never invest in movies. That's rule number 1. That's 101 in the movie business. In the movie business, we call them suckers. And there's always suckers. It's like a Carney thing. It's like, you know, and finally, you know, in the last, I don't know, what, 15, 20, 30 years, even the studios realized that they were suckers and that maybe they should get other people to go and finance the movies. Get the property, they didn't get the cash in the company. There's a few things, a number of things they didn't.
The studio there, they
got the studio. I mean, basically I got the company. But I own all the property.
But you were building a new, I mean, this is kind of dear to my heart, this piece of it. You were building a new studio next door in this beautiful area, and the local people decided to fight you on that. And they fought you. Is that your continuing concern or theirs?
What happened was I built Skywalker Ranch, which was a nice, pleasant place to work. And Marin County is very, very green. And I am too. So I said, look, if you really want to preserve the environment, the best way to do it is to do what I'm going to show you how to do, which is about 2,000 acres. I took 100 acres and I built a corporate headquarters there. And I said and I put all the rest in open space. And so I said, now we've protected, you know, 1,900 acres, and from a subdivision. But they are so fixed on subdivision that when I finally got to do, I had 6,000 acres, so I was like, that was the first one. Then the second one I did, it got tougher, and they made it harder, but I got that one through. Same thing. And I kept trying to say, look, this is so much better than a subdivision. You know,
Let you have your dream.
I've been a big fan of low-cost housing. Marin County is one of the richest counties in the United States. And the average home price there is like $2 million or something like that. It's ridiculous. And as a result, there's no housing for the people that work there. There's no housing for the firemen or the teachers or anybody that actually works there.